video about Australia.
We are going to talk about Australia, its history, its habits, and its language. First of all, we will talk about its history.
The first inhabitants of Australia were the Aboriginals. They've been around for about 40,000 years. They moved from Southeast Asia to Australia. There were about 1 million Aborigines before the European settlement began. The foreign nation which filled Australia, which were the Dutch, Portuguese, Spanish and British. In the 17th century, both the Spanish and the Portuguese passed, but did not do anything with the land. But the Dutch did, as they were the first to notice Australia. They entered the Gulf of Carpentaria in 1606, and they marked it as New Holland in 1616. After that, the British came in 1688, and it was only claimed as British territory when Captain James Cook Voyage entered in 1770. Since 1770, it was called New South Wales. They set up a penal colony at Port Jackson, now known as Sydney, in 1788 until 1839. They sent about 160,000 prisoners to the island. The British weren't allowed to send any more people to the island, but the prisoners were still there. They formed 6 colonies, which were New South Wales, Tasmania, Western Australia, South Australia, Victoria and Queensland. These then formed into states, and since then not much has changed. Australia has a close bond with Britain and the US, and those are countries are known for their extensive breakfast. Australia does the same thing. Having breakfast with toast, eggs and pancakes, not unusual. Then children go to school. In Australia, mandatory education is free, thus there's no excuse to not go to school. A lot of schools start at 8 and have PE/fitness the first half hour. School ends at 4. The children do a lot of physical activity at school. When they get home, they make homework or watch TV. For adults, the day starts also around 7, but they go to work. In the big cities, there's a lot of office work, but also a lot of people with cattle. Australia is absolutely not densely populated, so the people have a lot of space and land.
Good day, mate. Hey, how are you doing? As you might not see, but I'm a little kangaroo. In Australia, we call those little kangaroos also joeys. Australia, we call Aussie. Well, what do we do in Australia? We like to play cricket or Australian football. And we have nice beaches where we can surf in the sea. Well, what do we eat? We like to barbecue a lot. Those barbecues we call the Aussie Barbie, the Great Aussie Barbie. My Australian accent might not be so good yet, but I just moved here to Australia. We were having a barbie and it was beaut until Mussies came and they ruined the tea. So now I'm just in front of the telly with a tube. Barbie is barbecue, beaut is beautiful, tea is dinner, telly is television, and tube is beer.
Australia mostly don't pronounce the R's on the end of the words, so you get forever, shiver, together, and car, instead of forever, together, shiver, and car. They also don't pronounce the G's on the end of the words, so you get like fishing, and dangling, and riding, and you might think that everybody in Australia talks with the same accent like they do in Scotland or in Wales or in Oxford, but that's not true. In Australia, pretty much everyone has their own Australian accent. Some people talk more British English, some people talk more Australian English, and there are also people who talk more with the Australian English as we think it is. Another difference between British English and Australian English is that an Australian makes everything sound like I, very loose, very open. When you hear a British say, "How are you today?" An Australian would make it sound like, "How are you to die?" They pronounce the A in today as I, so it makes to die.
A stereotype Australian person would say hi mate and bloody all the time. Australia is a beautiful country. It has lots of nature and beautiful coastal cities and villages. If you ever want to come to Australia, you could go to the opera in Sydney for the developed part, but you could also stay at home and watch Crocodile Dundee. Well, you can always come visit me here in Australia, and see ya, mate.